Alright, boys. I've been doing a little experimenting here with the old VNT and my CCI rifles with those little barrels. What I did is I took the barrel that I've been hunting the squirrels with, not the one I used this morning, the one I've used before that, the last barrel I received. Now I've got one more coming. I took that barrel off and took the scope off of that action and put it in another action. The action that actually had the barrel I received the time before. And I got good results with VMAX ammo Hornady out of that action and that barrel. So I switched. Put that barrel in scope, the Nexus element scope, disconnected the mounts, didn't take the scope out of the rings, mounted the scope up, put the barrel in, torqued it 35 inch-pounds on the barrel screws, 20 inch-pounds on the stock screws. Now, you ain't gonna believe this bullshit. I never had to touch that scope. But I didn't know. So what I did is, you're going to see this target here. I put this up first at 30 yards. I said, well, let's see where this thing is at. Well, I aimed at the top of the dot, and when I shot, I wasn't paying attention, and I thought my bullet hole was that dog's nose. So I dialed down 1 MOA and shot again. And I hit here. And I dialed down 3 MOA and hit here. Put the scope back to its original 0, shot it at 50 yards. It's cutting the cross out on these targets at 50 yards. So I find that really hard to believe, but that's the damn truth. No windage and no elevation adjustment. So now there is some wind blowing out here, a little wind. It's not perfect conditions. So I put the target out at 100 yards laser, aiming at the top edge of the dot. Shooting that. Now, the gun had been in the house setting for a couple of hours and hadn't been shot. I did this earlier this afternoon. You see all of those shots there at a laser at 100. Now, I've had a little switching wind on some shots, and I was watching it. That's pretty damn good right there, boys. Alright? But I want to shoot it some more, and I want to sort of keep an eye out on cold bore shot to see what it does. The first shot I shot was that one out of this group, and I could see the bullets on that target. Believe it or not, I have a prevailing tailwind, but I was monitoring the wind. You see the shot on the left, you see the shot on the right. I could see it tracking with the wind direction. So I'm not giving up on this VNT, okay? Now this same barrel, by the way, it fits pretty tight in this receiver that I put it in. Alright? So I'm going to keep an eye on this. And I'm going to squirrel hunt with it some more, and I'm going to shoot it some more at 100 in what we would call close to perfect conditions for outside, okay? And watch it. Now, I used this ammo, that lot number. Maybe you can read that on there. That's what I used to shoot that. I shot these shots, and I shot it 3 times at 50 yards, and that was just a waste of time. That thing was cutting that X out. So, we're going to see what happens here. Because I like the performance of this bullet. And if it'll go where I want it to, I wouldn't mind using it on some leaves off hunting. And that right there shows some real... Now, the way I've got that scope set up with a 50-yard 0, that's about how low you are at 100. Now, that's a 1.5 inch dot. Okay. So, you know, you get time in the woods on a 100-yard squirrel generally. It's the close shots you don't get time on. So, you know, you need to have your closer distance more spot on. You can dial for a longer shot. You know, and you might want to laser it too. You see what I'm saying? So that right there looks pretty good. We'll do some more testing with it. Same barrel, same receiver, and I put that American stock that I've got in the last purchase that was on the gun, the one I've actually been using as of late, squirrel hunting a lot. I sanded it out. It's nice and free floated on that barrel. We may try this new barrel out when it gets here. I might get it this week. It may be early the week after next. We'll try it at 100 and see what it does.